Do it.
Okay.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mum.
Knife.
All right. We'll get started. All right, so welcome everyone watching at home. Tonight we are starting our live stream of Curse of Strahd. We'll go around the virtual table and introduce all of our players. Starting from the top left, playing Bellico. Introduce your character and why he's here.
Okay, so Bellico Uno began his career as a young acolyte under the service of Kellenbor, the god of the grave, a neutral god of death that abhors any kind of undead machinations. I believe that I can post, or you can read his full character description. But he fell in love with the wife of his senior clerical tutor, and herself being a druid had kind of achieved a timelessness to a degree. So her original love, her husband, grew much older than she in body and mind. And Bellico, presiding over the end of life of his tutor, kind of chose to not prolong his suffering, so that he may kind of have the heart, body and soul of Celeste.
So is he
apple of his eye.
Is he a virtual grass cutter? Essentially, that's what he's a necromantic grass cutter.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just like you can't stop love, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And
that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
But just quickly, so Celeste, having kind of seen her first husband waste away, committed herself to never kind of falling for a transient love again. And now, so Bellico's looking to escape the mortal coil or prolong his life so that he may win Celeste's company.
Oh, very good. Very good. Okay. Next, let's go to Tala.
Sup?
Sup?
I'm Tala. I'm from a barbarian clan up in the far north. Hate it there. What else do you want to know? It's not your business.
Oh, fantastic. That's what we're going to get. Excellent. All right. Drinbra.
My name's Drin. I am a assassin Drow. And my brother, Elfan, and I have unfortunately gotten stuck here due to his hormones.
Wow, Drow and hormones in one sentence is something I've never heard. Oh man, if R.A. Salvatore could watch this video, he'd be disgusted. All right, and finally, Elkfane.
My brother, you are incorrect. We were brought into House Mizrim as commoners when our previous house fell. Being a Valor house kept us from attending anything but the basic classes in the Tierbrek Academy. However, in my time there, I gained the attentions of Onre Mizrim, a young priestess who is seeking a patron to perform husbandly duties. While I was initially pleased at the attentions, I was soon put in my place and became a slave at her beck and call.
This is sounding
I couldn't please her.
What's that TV show with the handmaidens, the Drow Maiden's Tale or something?
The Drow Maiden's Tale, yes.
Oh
yes.
No!
I fell into disfavor, and she boasted to his sisters of an upcoming sacrifice to bolster her standing with Lolth. But my brother Drin, who was walking the corridor at the time, overheard the conversation and warned me. We managed to escape. into the tunnels of the Underdark, but unfortunately we were captured and put into a Drow slave camp run by a member of the same family that we had escaped.
Excellent.
But we have since managed to flee from that terrible fate and into Barovia.
Well, no, you haven't actually. So,
we haven't.
No.
Okay.
No.
We have.
And
we've
that's where we start.
And headed into a tunnel.
That's right. So at the end of the last session, if anyone was watching at home, you've escaped from the Underdark through the tunnels, through the crypt of Cato the Undying, who is now dead officially as a monk, and you reached a hilltop, and looking down upon down over this hilltop, you saw this small hamlet. Night was setting in. There was a tavern in the middle of the town that you made your way down to, and found a warm light and a sort of some nice heat coming off the building. You open the door and walk in. You're all dressed in your miner's clothes at this point in time, not knowing sort of where you are. You see the sign above you that says Crooked Cane Tavern.
Alright, I want to go in first because you two are Drow, so sorry. Sort yourselves out. And I look over at Bellico, and I'm like, seeing as we're the only normal freaking looking people here, why don't we head in?
Excellent.
Lead the way.
Alright, so I stride up to the front door, and I just push it in. I don't like kick it in, but I open it up confidently. What do I see?
So the door opens, swings in with a loud sort of, and sort of the noises and the music that you hear from inside stop. The tavern's quite warm and homely. It has this really sort of low ceiling, and this large fireplace in the corner. There's a couple of people around. You see actually a mix of races. Some half orcs sitting at a table. A couple of halflings playing dice games, which they've stopped at the moment while they look at you all. There's a bartender behind the bar, and from the kitchen you sort of hear these tings and pangs of pots rattling.
All right.
The music plays up again as the minstrel doesn't even sort of pay you two looks.
Okay, sweet. I'm going to head up to the half-orcs at the table.
Excellent. They look up at you expectingly.
And I say to the one that's closest to me, what does a girl have to do around here to get a bloody bowl of hot food? And then before they say anything, I punch them in the face. in a convivial, mately way. Just.
Excellent. You're a human, aren't you?
I am.
Excellent. All right then. All right. So make your attack roll against the orc.
And all the while, I'm sort of trying to look over at Bellico, and I'm giving him like a conspirator wink, like I know what I'm doing. That's an 8. 8.
Yeah, well, you deserved what. So you lazily swing through at this orc and just totally air swing around them. He just he does this, he's swinging on his chair and he just swings back and he looks at you and he goes, "Filthy commoners, got no business being in here with the rest of us. Look at you all in your dirty rags." And his mate says, "Yeah, that's right, Jeff, you tell him."
And I kind of like, you would not believe the night I've had. Come on. And I try and act drunk convincingly.
All right. roll a deception check for me.
Shit.
Filthy we are, but commoners we are not.
I will
look at the
pass-
rags on ya.
Yeah, I will glance through the door and pass Tarla Bardic Inspiration.
I'm gonna use that. That's a D12, yeah.
No,
No.
it's a D6.
Oh, wow.
Not at level 3.
What? That is an 8.
With oh my.
Yep.
I would like to enter the tavern.
Follow
Okay.
my brother.
So you guys walk in, and from behind the bar, you see the bartender look over and just be cast a sort of a furtive, brow. The
I hold up my hand and I say, "Hold. Yes, I am Drow, but have you heard a Drow sing and play?"
From behind the from in the corner, an elvish minstrel sort of looks over and he says, "Excuse me, it's my night tonight. I was promised money for this gig. Oh, this is terrible."
My friend,
And he throws down his little lute and storms out. "I will never work in this town again."
oh, did he throw away his instrument?
Well, he threw it to the ground, and there's a little lute
I will-
on the ground.
I will pick that up.
"You better start playing something really quick," the halflings say from the table.
And
We paid full rates to get in here tonight.
No worries, my friends. And I start to pluck away at the lute. And as I do, I cast Silent Image. And I start to have...
Oh, great
You know.
dinner and a show!
That's
And
right.
they start clapping
And
heartily.
And I start to animate, make pictures of the images of the song that I'm playing, so that hopefully I can get advantage on my performance check for this.
Excellent. All right, do so. The crowd cheers, and even the half orcs are clapping along now.
I'm gonna give myself Bardic Inspiration. I didn't roll that well. Oh, that's not bad. Plus 18.
Oh, fantastic. So your show is well received by the inhabitants of the bar, and the halflings sort of get up and start sort of dancing around together, and even the half orcs start punching each other in the face playfully, and sort of doing the whole sing song sway from side to side.
And I yell out to the tavern keeper, "I will happily play until the wee hours if you but give my friends and I a bed to sleep on in the common room and perhaps a meal."
Yeah. So
Using my by popular demand feature.
yeah, excellent. So you call over, and the bartender says, the bartender is actually a short dwarf, and she says, "Oh, I'll have to ask my husband. He's in the kitchen, And she says, "Would any of you like some food to go with your with your show tonight?"
If you please,
Oh yeah.
good lady, bring my friends and I a little food, for it's been a long road.
I
She
just sort
says-
of nod very meekly from the corner.
Excellent. So from out of the kitchen comes this. This dwarvish lady. You see her. She's she says these things to you, and then she turns around and walks back to the kitchen, and while before she was nice and polite, her voice rings out. "Ivar, Get some food out here now for these people! And you hear him come from the kitchen. Ah, woman, give me a little moment. I'm just cleaning the pots. Now! Get me the food! And, you hear him sort of start coming from the back of the kitchen. And before too long, he comes out with sort of 4 plates of these giant sort of ham hocks that he just slops down on the table. They're these giant hocks, and they're just covered in gravy. And he says, apologies for my wife. She's a bit coarse, you know.
I don't even hear him. My eyes are just lit up. I'm ready.
Excellent. So you enjoy the comforts while Elkfane plays his lute. Bellico, I guess your mage hand takes him over some morsels of food for him to sort of snack on while he's while he's playing. Mage hand delivery service. And for a while the night is nice and cold, or nice and quiet and homely. You pick up off a few of the halflings when you speak to them that the Crooked Cane's a pretty decently known roadhouse for any sort of, they accept all travellers, and Drow have come through here before, very rarely. And they have seen your type before, slaves that have escaped the Underdark, looking for a better place. Suddenly your discourse is cut short as the door to the tavern swings in wildly.
I immediately place my hand on the waistband of my sort of raggedy skirt.
The door swings in wildly, the biting cold hard on its heels, as snow swirls around a figure hugging his cloak tightly. The soft jingle of bells and coins follows the man as he shuffles forward. He bears a middle age and has a somber countenance about him as he looks in your direction. Walking towards the bar and sitting down wearily, he removes a large purse from his cloak. It thuds against the counter. "I am looking for help," he says in a thick accent, "but only from the bravest." What do you do?
I eye the coin on the table hungrily.
And I say,
But I continue to play.
I say, what about the smartest?
"You consider yourself smart, yes," he says as he walks over and looks at you. And you notice he has this sort of long dark hair and this rather stylish sort of facial hair.
Well, I've been studying.
He says, you read the books good, yes?"
I read the books well.
He points at you, he says, "Ah, yes, I see you are smart and quick. These things will come in handy. Very, very handy." And he turns to you, Bellico. He says, "You, sir, you have the look of an ingenious man. A wizened look."
I'm surprised you could recognize it.
He says, I have an eye for these things. Many, many years I have looked for people to help. But tonight is different. I search the bravest."
Will you accept desperate?
Desperation is not a safe place to be. Many people may take advantage of you. I can assure you I am not one of these men.
I speak up and I say, "You should speak to my brother Drin, for he is cunning and ruthless when he has a goal."
Oh. The music stops for a second as you speak, and then catches up again. Well then, Mr. Drinman, tell me when you have been of such a sharp and cunning nature.
I ignore him. I look away.
A man
As
of
if
few words.
There's no one around me.
Indeed. I appreciate this. The empty can does rattle the most.
I look him in the eyes. As the music stops playing, I look him in the eyes, and I'm trying to judge his character. I ask him, what do you need done?
Excellent. He reaches into a backpack and pulls out a note, a scroll. He says, I have been sent to you to deliver this message. If you be creatures of honor, you will come to my master's aid at first light. It is not advisable to travel these foliage woods at night, he says. And he pulls out a sealed letter that has this beautiful flowing script on the front. That says, you can sort of make it out, it says, to those who are bold. He drops the letter on the table and he says, take the road west from town. Some 5 hours march through the woods. There you will find my master in Barovia. He gestures over to the counter and says, I see you are in need of supplies. It is a dangerous road. Take this money and arm yourselves in the town. I have a friend in this town. His name is Barbaro. He will help you out. Give you good price, good discount. He says, you just mentioned me. My name is Arigal.
As he's finished talking, I go to grab his arm. And I say, do ye think that all thee want is gold? What other fine things can we expect for one such as I who doesn't... I don't want for just gold, I want for knowledge.
Oh,
and I look at him very sort of like...
He says, ah, you are a shrewd and calculating individual indeed. He says, my town of Barovia, we have many libraries full of knowledge, and it is a strange land with many powerful artifacts. There I think you will find your sustenance.
Well, I'm done.
He says, as he spins on his heels, he's sort of, the chains and coins sort of clinking off him. He sort of bows and curtsies at the door and he says, I wish you all good night. And be safe.
Good friend, where can we find Barbaro?
You hear one of the half-orcs sort of yell over. They've been listening in. They say, Barbaro's that little tiefling bloke that runs the sundry store next door. He's a strange one. The other guy says, yeah, he's kind of horny, if you get what I'm saying.
And I look over at him and I say, I like the strange ones.
He quickly turns around and he's like, you guys are fish rockers.
I snort into my ham hock. Make a gravy bubble.
Excellent. Oh, great. You could have a point of inspiration for that.
My gravy bubble?
Yeah, for the gravy bubble. That was fantastic. I just pictured that. It's just this big whop.
Please say you did it with your nose.
Excellent.
The letter says, to the bold, in case you're wondering, Tala.
You got something to say?
I just did. Perhaps you care to read the rest of it to us.
Excellent. So you open the letter up as after Aragal leaves and the door swings in again. It reads to you this: Hail to thee of might and valor, I, a lowly servant of Barovia, send honor to thee. We plead thy for thy desperately need assistance. The love of my life, Irina Kolyana, has been afflicted by an evil too deadly, so deadly, that even the good people of our village cannot protect her. She languishes from her wounds, and I would have her saved from this menace. There is much wealth in this community. I offer all that might be had to thee and thy fellow, if thou shalt but answer my desperate plea. Come quickly, for her time is at hand. All that I have shall be thine. And it is signed, Kolyan Indirovich, Burgomaster.
Burgomaster?
Turn to my brother.
You go.
Turn to my brother and nod my head. He understands that I feel a bit nervous or uncertain about this letter. It seems too good to be true.
Brother,
What?
if we are truly bold, for we have escaped the Underdark and come to this place. Did you not see the stars overhead? The legends of our people talking of the open skies. They would have us fear them, but we are in the open spaces now. Let us proceed. See what possibilities come from this adventure.
The coin is real enough, Bellico says as he opens the pouch and kind of looks in there.
And besides, I lift the front of my loincloth. I need underwear.
Oh.
A nod again and return back into silence.
And R.A. Salvatore just twitches a little bit in his sleep. Excellent. So you spend the rest of the night having a few drinks and playing some music, and the tavern keep and his wife are nice enough to put you up. Roxana was the name of the female dwarf behind the bar. Her husband's Ivar. And in the morning, you sort of you head out down to find this place that's run by Barbaro. Do you have anything you want to run past the tavern keep as you leave?
Well, I would actually like to go back into the tavern after I leave. I'm assuming, what's the weather like outside?
It's a beautifully sunny day.
Yeah, so I walk back inside and I say, good sir, have you 2 hats that my brother and I can have, for this strange blue light is hurting our eyes.
Excellent. So, Roxana, she says, I'll look behind the counter and see what I can find. And she comes out with, she says, I got no hats, but I got these 2 old pans. And she pulls out these 2 saucepans with like a rather They're almost like woks. They're like rather large. She says, maybe these will do the trick.
Excellent. I take them. I give one to my brother. I proceed outside, and I put the wok on my head to shade my eyes from the glaring sun.
Excellent. So you all step outside, and as the tavern door swings shut, you hear over, "Woman, what you doing giving away me damn pots and pans again?" The screaming from inside continues. You never use your damn pots and pans. That's my favourite pot. What you do? And they carry on as you sort of walk down the street. And you just hear the clattering of pots and pans and glasses being thrown at each other as they sort of continue their merry domestic as you walk down the street.
I try to remember this scene for a future tale.
Yes. You travel down the road. It's like a 3-horse town. There's literally the Crooked Cane, and you walk out onto the main road, and across the road literally is this dilapidated old house, and it has a little sign out the front which is like a chest, and it's got like some axes hanging out each side, and it's got engraved. Sort of in wooden cutout, Barbaros Basics, like that.
This my house. Basic.
Basic. Oh my god, it's what all the young kids are using these days. What do you do?
I proceed inside. It's better than outside.
Excellent. So Drin and Elkfane, you two are just very happy to get out of the sun, and you sort of just push past everyone like hot, and swing these two doors. They're like saloon doors. They just go in, and you sense.
And I think, sorry, no. I reckon that Drin and Elkfane have seen something really shiny. And I'm like, oh, they're gonna get there first, so I am like hot on their heels into this shop.
Bellico, I assume, is just floating at the back like, Excellent. He's like, Bellico's like the grumpy old man of this crew, isn't he?
Yeah, pretty similar.
Yeah.
He's also holding the coin, I believe.
Excellent.
Possibly.
So as you enter this this salon style place, there's this interesting sort of music playing. It's a sort of like Middle Eastern, like sitar sort of vibe. It's coming from this strange machine in the corner that has this flat disc on it with a little pointed needle on the top. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before. There's the smell, this amazing smell of incense, and it's sort of coming from this little coil that's burning on this elaborate and old countertop. It's immaculately carved. It's just beautiful. Against like one side of the wall is a whole heap of, like, you can see adventuring sundries, various backpacks. Sorry, just burping. Swords, pickaxes, just very basic low-level stuff. And on the other side is sort of purchasing sundries, you know, some healers' kits and that sort of stuff. The most interesting thing about this place is this this sort of tall, thin character cloaked behind the bar. He has these deep red eyes that sort of almost burn from behind his cowl. He looks over at you. He says, "You must be these people that Arigal has sent to me today." And he sort of wisps his cowl back, and you see that he is a tiefling. He has these red sort of horns that poke up, and this sort of rather infernal sort of look about himself. And he says, "I am Barbaro, and this is Barbaro's Basics," he says with pride as he opens his hands.
You got any robes?
Yes, indeed. And he points over to another corner of the building. Actually, no, he points up the stairs. There's like a stairwell that goes up to a landing. He says, upstairs you will find some good adventuring clothes for a woman of your stature. He says, we carry all sizes.
Would you trade anything for these pots?
He looks at you and says, he says, what is this on the bottom? And he pulls it over. And on the bottom of it, it says, property of Ivar Thunderthighs. And he says, have you stolen this of Ivar?
No, his wife gave them to us.
Ah, of course she gave him to you. I will take these. No doubt. And maybe
Excellent.
I will sell them back to Ivar later. For a modest profit, of course.
I sort of push past him, muttering like, "I'm not fat." Like, I'm not fat. And I just walk up the stairs.
Excellent. So Tala's gone upstairs to suss out the garment store. Drin, Elkfane, Bellico, you can pretty much find everything here that would equip your characters to your starting gear that you've sort of aligned yourself with. All of you in that sort of respect. So don't worry too much about specific things unless there's something else you want to do.
Look for a pair
Tell
of
me
sons.
about this. Tell me about this place. We're new to these parts if you can't gather by our attire.
He says, indeed, you have the look of miners about you. And then he says, and you two are Drow. This is interesting. Barbaro is a clever man. I would say that you're, I don't know, escaping from someone.
In one hole, out another. What difference does it make? Where are we?
He says, you're in the town of Beggars Crossing. And of course, you have come to the finest store in all of the town, Barbaro's Basics. And he stands there looking at you with his arms up, like this smile.
I come stomping down the stairs, and I have found a bright purple wizard's cloak with gold piping down the edges and the seams, and I've ripped off one of the drapes, little catches to tie around my waist. So I've got sort of the hood down the back, and it is brightly coloured. And I come down, I feel amazing. And I just swan into the store, and then I start rifling through the backpacks to find something that would suit me and my needs.
He says, Madame, you look so beautiful. It's it is perfectly matched for you.
I know, that's why I picked it.
He says,
I just stare at it.
Excellent.
Did you see any mail upstairs?
Barbaro cuts in.
I didn't see any letters.
There are no men. There are no men upstairs. What are you talking about?
I don't think they have a postman here.
Elkfane.
Peasants. Walk up the stairs.
So while this is going on, Drin and Elkfane, anything for you guys at all?
Well, I asked for a new set of strings for my lute because these are worn. And then I start looking around at rapiers and crossbows and armor.
Excellent. So there's a whole
And I wanna
stash of
find-
these up against the wall that you can pick on. Some
I
are
want to find myself a nice cowled hood protect my eyes from the sun, and maybe a cloak to keep myself warm at night, and a backpack. Pretty much all the basic gear that I need.
Yeah, excellent. Dren?
I walk around and I head upstairs alone.
Excellent. Well, actually, Bellico had just he'd headed up there earlier, and as you reach the top of the steps, you're sort of greeted with the sight of this pasty white full moon as he's stepping out of.
It's kind of a crescent. He's quite slim, so there's like those dimples on the side.
I remain quiet and I continue forward.
Can you roll a stealth check for me, actually, as you move up the stairs?
16 plus 7, 23.
Excellent. I'm pretty sure that's going to smash your passive perception, Bellico. Excellent. So you so you managed to walk up the stairs unnoticed. Well, Bellico, what are you trying on upstairs?
A suit of chainmail.
Excellent. So you find this sort of rusty old suit of chainmail. It does the job, but it's by no means a fantastic condition. And after a little while, are you standing there like just admiring yourself maybe in the mirror, and you sort of catch a glimpse of Drin sort of like with his dodgy eyes looking at you from out of the corner.
Had enough?
I ignore him and I continue looking for a robe.
Excellent.
With a nice head covering.
Yeah. So you managed to find 2 robes that would sort of suit you and your brother quite well. Nice long sort of cowls, and after a little while you managed to wrap up everything that you need, and you head back downstairs and pay Barbaro. Is there anything you'd like to do before you leave?
Aragorn mentioned that you would give us beggars' prices. For this is Beggars Crossing, is it not?
Ah, yes, Arigal, yes. I say to him, I no speak. Ah, no, it's okay. And he says, for you, I give you 25% off.
And when he says 25% off, I grab just it looks like a club with just some metal studs in it, just a really basic club. And I chuck it on the closest countertop, and I sort of say to Bellico, want that one.
Barbaro,
I'm sure you'll put it to good use.
Barbaro looks at you and he says, why are you pulling my shop apart? And you notice that you've actually ripped off like a sideboard off the side of his off the wall, and it's come off with the nails attached to it.
I thought you sold everything. This is pretty basic.
Oh, he says, oh no. Oh well, it's okay. You can take.
And thanks. And I grab it and I walk out the door.
Excellent. So the rest of you leave Bellico there with the purse, paying over, and he sort of says, okay, the total comes to, and he sort of writes this little ledger down, and he goes, 500 gold.
Surely this is worth no more than 450 gold.
That is not 25%.
He says, it's a good price. What did he leave you?
350.
Can you roll a deception check for me?
While he's rolling a deception check, I'm just sort of impatiently waiting outside, so I go back in and I say, is there a problem? And I hold up.
Oh, total of 7.
Total of 7. And Tali, you can roll an intimidation roll for me.
Yes. Come on. That's a 19.
Oh, so no problem at all. He's Aragal, good friend. You'll take this and you'll go. Okay. And with that, he takes his hefty price, and leaves you with 150 gold pieces in your stash.
So, I actually grab a pebble, and I cast Minor Illusion and make it look like a ruby. And I put it on the counter and I say, "For your troubles, fine sir." And I walk out.
You see his attention sort of is fixated by this red ruby as you all leave.
It lasts for 1 minute, I think.
Yes. All right.
Minor Illusion. 1 minute.
So you all travel down the road westerly, leaving town. For not wearing your pots anymore, but actually dressed like proper adventurers.
Do we split the remaining gold and go our separate ways, or do you plan on walking these dark woods? Barovia sounds interesting. It might have what I need.
Does anyone know anything about Barovia?
That's not important. It's probably got like scrolls and sigils and like spells. We should go. I'ma go. I don't care what you do. I'ma go.
I expected to be shunned in this world, but we have an open invitation. I think we should see it out to see if we can find acceptance. Our brethren aren't exactly well liked.
Given that I get first precedence over any arcane materials,
I arch an eyebrow.
Didn't.
I arch an eyebrow at that. I'm sorry?
I'm a priest of the grave, and its belongings belong to my eyes first.
And I'm bigger than you.
Excellent. The fantastic banters continue for a while as you all travel west out of town, through and into the forest, and the rain starts to fall, and it slowly turns into a soft snow as the winter chill sort of kicks in. You travel for the next few hours through the woods, but curiously the sun doesn't set. The
Cursed sun, all of fire in the sky, it blinds me.
And I just sort of shush him. And again, I'm holding onto my sideboard, my club.
You shouldn't shush me.
Shh. And I'm going to try and I'm just going to use my danger sense a little bit, especially since I'm feeling on edge ever since we got here, and I noticed that the sun wasn't setting. It goes against sort of all of my survival instincts that I've picked up through my life, and I'm just sort of clutching my club, and I've got my danger sense out, trying to see if I can see anything coming our way.
Whoever is turning those pages is amazingly loud.
Apologies.
Just turn more softly.
Sorry.
I asked the surface dwellers, surely this ball of fire, when does it end? I cannot see.
Well, it should end. It should have ended. Or should at least be getting darker by now.
The night sky, this is what I need.
Well,
I'm troubled by this brightness.
prepared to be troubled a little longer, because something tells me this ain't changing. I just sort of like push past him, and I go to the front of the group walking through the forest.
I rack my mind to see if I can remember from my lessons at the academy how long a day lasts on the surface world.
Oh, that'd be a deep one. Yeah, roll your
Ooh,
history. Yeah.
Plus history. Hey, 9.
Fantastic. You know that you read about this thing called the sun that orbited, but it only ever orbited for a certain amount of time. And then it was followed by this other thing called the moon, which had an equal duration.
I saw this last night.
Yeah, indeed, you did. But you travel through the woods a little bit longer, and the bright light of the sun sort of is masked by the ever-dense trees coming in. Before too long, this sort of grey haze settles over the forest. And where there was streams of light brightly shining through, there is now only this dim haze. The woods become
Heave a sigh
dimmer.
of relief.
The woods become dimmer, and a pale light from where the sun should be only illuminates what you have barely. The trees change. They go from this nice evergreen to this grey, and then further on twisted and misshapen. Their spindly fingers sort of reach out at you over the road. And they're almost seeming as if they're taunting you, tempting to touch you if you even turn your back on them for a second.
No worse than the priestesses and their many-headed whips.
Can I have a perception roll off everyone, please?
Oh! 22. Natural 20.
19.
Nat 1.
I got 19.
Excellent. 4 corpses crash wildly down through the canopy with a sickening snap. Their already broken necks snap again as the ropes that are hanging around them tighten. Their desiccated husks mock you as they swing from left to right, their mouths agape in a silent scream.
Did I perceive them?
Everyone.
A roll of 22.
No, you weren't frightened, but Bellico, this horrible scene has disturbed you. Can you make me a horror save, please? Wisdom.
21.
Excellent. Being well versed in corpses, you sort of manage to sustain your fear. But you notice something interesting about this corpse. You see something fall from its pocket and rest in the grass underneath.
How far are these from me?
10 feet to the side of the road. What do you do?
Immediately, he kind of draws down, reaching his hand towards the kind of sodden ground. If soft snow is still filtering its way through the forest. And it kind of brings itself up in a paw around his hand as he reaches out and says, run. And he casts the chill touch cantrip.
On?
The zombie, the corpse. Or are these frozen corpses? I bet.
Oh, sorry. Like, you're on totally a different level. Did anyone...
Okay.
No, these are just corpses swinging.
Just laying there.
No, they're swinging,
okay.
hanging from ropes, from trees.
Sorry. I apologize. I'm still happy to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, no, we're not there.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And reach down and like look at what after the spell strikes it. A skeletal hand reaching out from him, kind of gripping the neck of this frozen corpse as he reaches down and picks up whatever's in the snow or the ground.
You find this little ice cube, and inside it is a single caltrop made of bone.
He just kind of puts it in up his chainmail sleeve, tucks it into like a little armband.
But when you look at this caltrop, it looks like something that you actually had on your person from before. And when you go and look for it, you realise it's not there.
Strange.
I look closely at the corpses. How many are there?
There are 4.
And what do they wear?
Nothing.
Approximate sizes?
They're all... One's a little bit larger. 2 of them are around the same height. And then the other one's about the same height as the other. Almost two sets of matching humans and 2 drow-looking skeletons.
I'm backing up a little as sort of like Elkfane and Bellico are looking at the corpses. I'm probably about 10 foot back from them, and I'm not feeling good. Something's wrong. I feel really uneasy, and I'm keeping an eye out on everything around us.
I'm really curious about this. I'd like to examine them further. And I'd like to see if I remember anything like this from the books that I read at the Academy. And with a 4 on my history check, I doubt that I remember anything.
Yeah, this just seems creepy to you guys.
I remember a prayer to Elistray.
Why are you guys scared? What is so scary about this?
And I say it's not the corpses I'm worried about. And I start to sort of venture further along in the direction that we were already heading. And
should we bury these corpses to give them some peace before we proceed?
There's not enough time. This weird daylight, half light. I need to find some water. I need to find some fire. Let's just set up camp.
This is a sign from Kellumpor, an omen of what may come.
Ugh, omens. Let's just build a fire. Come on.
Excellent.
And I walk off to try and find somewhere that has a clearing that we can camp in.
Yeah. The woods, as you travel down the road trying to find somewhere to camp, it's almost like every time you step off the road, the woods tighten around you and this sort of fog rolls in. And before too long, you reach the far end of the road and you see these giant gates opening up before you. And there's where we'll pause for a moment, and we'll come back after a break.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yay.